Welcome to JJ Live Learning. Let's our experience be your guide. What is cluster? A cluster is a group of server or node and the other resources that act like a single system and enable a high availability and load balancing process on your AD services. These clusters are used to reducing the downtime and outages by allowing the other server to take over in an outage event. It works as a group of servers are connected as a single system. What is the function of failover cluster? A failover cluster is a group of servers that working together to maintain a high availability of application and the services. If one of these server or node will be failed, the another node in the cluster can take over its workload without any downtime and sending the services to the end users. Recommend need to configure your failover cluster. dc.sun.com is your domain controller and configuring the iSCSI target on your DC. Node1.sun.com is your primary failover cluster with the installation of file server and iSCSI initiator. And Node2.sun.com is your secondary failover cluster with the installation of file server and iSCSI initiator. Let's start the live concept of failover cluster. First, we have to log in on your domain controller. On our domain controller, we have to install the service iSCSI initiator. So just go to your server manager, select add roles and features, just give next. We have to enable your role based and feature based installation. dc.sun.com is your domain controller. On your DC, we are going to install the service iSCSI initiator. So the target service we are going to install on this thing. So iSCSI target server is installed on your DC machine in successful manner. Now configure your iSCSI on your file and storage service. Select your iSCSI. Now create a iSCSI virtual disk. Already we create a disk C and E. The E drive contains 20 GB. On that space we are creating a virtual disk. So first we are creating the disk 01. We are allocating the 2 GB for your virtual disk. The space will be taken from your physical drive. We are creating a new iSCSI target. We are giving the name for your target is iSCSI 01. Now that target path will be added to your node 1 and node 2. That is, we are adding that target path to your failover cluster primary as well as secondary. Now we are giving the primary failover cluster IP 10.0.30. As like same, we are adding your secondary failover cluster 10.0.40 is the IP address of your secondary failover cluster. The two nodes will be added on your iSCSI target server. Now create a iSCSI target path. So E drive is your target path. Again we are creating one more disk, that is virtual disk we are creating here. Select your source drive, that is E drive. The name we are creating is virtual disk 02. The allocation we are giving is 3 GB. So we are selecting the option existing iSCSI target which is created before and create a iSCSI target. Now we successfully completed the 2 virtual disks. If you want to view the virtual disk path, just go to your E drive. Here the virtual disk will be present, which is created on the iSCSI target. Now come to your failover cluster. that is primary failover cluster. Select tools, select the iSCSI initiator. So the initiator is nothing but we are receiving the iSCSI target path to your machine. Select your discovery. So in discovery portal, we are selecting the iSCSI target server 10.20. On your advanced settings, we are selecting the node. 10.0.30 is the initiator IP, and we are selecting OK on the thing. Now select the target. Make a connection between your iSCSI target as well as initiator. Go to advanced option. So select your iSCSI initiator. Give the initiator IP 10.30 is the local IP address of the system, and the target portal we are setting the 10.20, that is your DC machine. Now go to your volume and devices. Make a auto configuration to receive the disk drive onto your primary failover cluster machine. Now go to the disk management. The two virtual disks which will be present on your machine, on your node 1 machine, just make as online. After making online, you can initialize the disk to activate as a physical disk on your system. So now the virtual disk will be changed as a physical disk for your node 1. We are creating a new volume for that machine. The disk 1, disk 2 will be created as a new volume. Now we can see the 2 drive which is created on the node 1 machine. As like same, we have to go to the node 2. The node 2 is nothing but secondary failover cluster system. On this secondary failover system, we have to configure your iSCSI initiator. Go to tools, select the iSCSI initiator. What are the steps you followed on the node 1? That same thing you have to be followed on here. As like same, go to the discovery, select the discovery portal, select your iSCSI target path which is received the drive, and the initiator will be 10.40, that is local disk, will be receiving the drive. After doing this, as like same, go to the target, make a connection between your DC machine as well as node 2. Go to the advanced option and make a connection using between your target initiator as well as target path. Finally, go to your volume and devices, make a auto connection, or there is auto configuration. So the drive which is present on your node 1, it will be replicated to your failover cluster 2, that is node 2 system. Just make a online of your disk. You no need to initialize this thing, just give the online, automatically it will be present on your system. Open your computer and see the drive which is present over here. So that now the target of iSCSI as well as initiator will be done successfully. Now come to the node 1. Again we are installing the service on your failover cluster, that is primary failover cluster. We are enabling the future failover cluster. and now installing the service. If any one of the failover system will be failed, through the secondary failover system the end users can access. So we are doing the failover cluster here. In node 2 also we are going to install the failover cluster. As like same role based and future based, and go to the future option. node2.sun.com is nothing but secondary failover custom system. Enable your failover cluster and install the service. Now the installation will be completed successfully as well as node 1 and node 2. You can configure your failover cluster on any one of the node, that is primary or secondary. So select the failover cluster manager. Now enable your validate configuration. Just give next. Add the 2 nodes on your failover cluster for your load balancing. So select node 1 and node 2, that is primary and secondary failover cluster system. We are adding here. Now we are going to run all the tests. Now the service will be installing on your node 1. Now the installation will be completed successfully. All the testing will be passed on your node 1. Now we are going to configure your cluster configuration. So select a cluster, create cluster. Add the 2 nodes, that is primary failover server as well as secondary failover server on your cluster. Select your node 1 and node 2. Just do next. We are giving a cluster name, that is NLB cluster. We are assigning the link IP address between your node 1 and node 2. So we are assigning the IP address 10.90 is the IP, which is make a link between your node 1 and node 2, that is like heartbeat IP address. Just give next. Now the cluster configuration is completed successfully on your primary failover cluster. You no need to configure your failover cluster on your secondary system, that is node 2. You no need to configure. The service is automatically replicated to your node 2. Once the process is done, you can go and check on your node 2. NLB cluster.sun.com. The cluster is configured here. All the status will be up now. Now go to the node 2. Select your failover cluster manager. You can see the service. So NLB cluster.sun.com, which is replicated from your node 1 to node 2. as like same roles, nodes and everything will be present here. Now come to DC. You can check the entries of your node 1 and node 2 as well as cluster information. Just go to the Active Directory user and computer. So it shows your NLB cluster information. That is, we create a link between your node 1 and 2. That information will be shared here. As well as on your DNS management, the link IP address also will be present on your DNS entry. The IP address is 10.90. On your forward local zone, it shows the NLB cluster. The IP will be 10.90 is the link IP address, that is heartbeat IP address of your failover cluster. Now you can see the nodes. The node 1 and node 2, that is primary as well as secondary failover cluster, will be in upstate. The storage which is created on your iSCSI target is replicated to your iSCSI initiator. That is also, it will be on online. Everything will be in active mode. Now we are going to configure the service on your node1.sun.com, that is primary failover cluster system. We are installing the service file server. So just enable your file and storage service and enable your file server service. Now the service will be installed on your node 1. We successfully completed your file service on your node 1. Just come to your node 2. In node 2 also we have to install the file service. node2.sun.com is your secondary failover cluster system. On the system we have to enable your file server. On both node 1 and node 2, we successfully completed your file server installation part. Now come to your node 1, that is primary system. So go to the roles. On your roles, we are configuring the failover cluster. So enable the failover cluster for your file server. So select your file server on this thing. Give your default path. We are giving a client access point name. The name will be NLB file server is the access point name which is used by the end users to accessing the file server. So we are giving the IP address is 10.0.91. Now we are adding the disk which is created by the iSCSI initiator. The 3 GB size will be added for your file server resource manager. So on your role, the node 1 will be the owner of your disk as well as file server service. Now I am showing the backend process. If node 1 will be failure, the failover cluster service will be down on your primary failover cluster system. So you can see the output totally down. Now go to the node 2. Automatically the ownership will be changed on your node 2. The failover cluster will be done at the back end. So node 2 will be taken the ownership automatically, and it will be act as a primary failover server. So this is the backend process which is done on your failover cluster. Now we are enabling your node 1, but the ownership will not be changed on your node1.sun.com, that is primary failover cluster system, because the node 2 will be acted as a primary failover server. So you can see the output here. The owner is node 2. Now we are creating a file share. On your file server, we are creating a file share directory. So we are starting your SMB quick share. So select your initiated disk, that is 3 GB. We are giving a share folder name, that is share file name. User data is the share name. So we are enabling your services. Now we can create a share folder. Now go to the client computer, just give the path nlb file server /user data. The share folder will be replicated from the node 2 because the ownership will be present on your node 2, not in node 1. So what are the data you are putting on your user directory? That data will be stored on the node 2. Now we are putting a file on your client. So we are putting a file here. So file 1. This file will be stored on the node 2, not on the node 1. If you go to the node 1, if you check the data which is available on your system, it never shows. The direct drives will not be shown here because the owner will be also a node 2. So just go to the node 2. You can get the initiated disk on here. On your F drive, you can receive the files. So you can see the share files. So the user data directory will be present on your node 2. What are the data will be put by the end users? It will be replicated on your node 2. Now, unfortunately, your node 2 will be disabled. That is, network will be failure. What will be happen? So now network will be disabled here. Go to your node 1. Automatically the ownership will be changed. Now the node 1 system will be taking the ownership and it will be act as a primary failover cluster. So now you can see the output on your client side. Again we are giving the share directory path. You can put your files over here. That file data will be stored on your node 1, not on the node 2, because changing the ownership. You can open the directory and the data will be present here. I hope this video helps you to deploy the failover cluster on real time. Cheer me to put more videos like this. Share, like and subscribe my channel JJ Live Learning. Thank you.